Damn it, I just realized something I could have done to the poster that I completely forgot about, but it's alright, it's okay. Everything's alright, yes, everything's fine. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mehvies. And today we're watching Rise of the Machines, or why can't the Terminator franchise keep one John Connor for more than one movie? Oh, hang on a second. Hang on a second. OPS just lost you.
Oh, no.
Okay, you're back.
Okay, good. I was saying, why is it so hard to keep a John Connor actor?
So, he was notably not played by anybody in T1, understandably so, you know, low budget film, trying to make it as efficiently as possible. Then in T2, he was famously played by two separate people. Then, between the events of Terminator 2 between the events of Terminator 2 3D, the shooting of T2 3D, and Terminator 3, Edward Furlong got into a lot of legal trouble regarding his addiction and crashing cars into things and whatnot. And he was supposed to come back for Terminator 3. He was signed on, but there was a clause in his contract that he had to keep his nose clean. And so, like a fucking idiot, he went out and partied with his entourage for one last time, quote unquote, and got himself arrested and sent to the hospital and got kicked out of Terminator 3. Now, he is not the only person to not return for Terminator 3. Famously, James Cameron did not return for Terminator 3. That's because of a rather long, convoluted story that starts with, I believe, his first ex-wife's company going under, and him trying to buy the rights to the script back, and then... because he had to sell them to her to get the first movie made, because she was a more experienced producer at the time. And then, after their divorce, he didn't get the Terminator rights. Her company did. Then her company got bought and then went under. And then the guys who financed T2...
Yeah, Mario and Andrew.
Yeah, those guys. They bought the rights to Terminator out from underneath James Cameron. And that just pissed him off. And apparently, they didn't try to reconcile with him between then and now, because they wanted to go with a pre-existing script that had already been written. And, you know, not a lot of that script made it into this version of the movie, but James Cameron did give Arnold Schwarzenegger his blessing to be in the film, because it was essentially... It was essentially just letting Arnold work out for a couple of months, and then and you know, the studio paid for his workout time and meals for the entire period before shooting.
Famously, he also wasn't originally going to be in this, and he was almost sued because he was under a contract clause to appear in a third movie. And the people of C2 Pictures, formerly known as Feralco Pictures, they were essentially saying that, look, if you don't appear in this, you're violating your contract that we bought, and we may have to sue you, and we don't want to do that. So then Arnold went to James and asked him not only for his blessing, but he asked him for what should I do. So James gave him the advice, you have my blessing to be in it, but ask them for a lot of money. And I think he accepted, a $25 million payday and a percentage of the box office grossing.
I believe it was $6 million up front. I think it was another, it was another 10 or so million, after filming, and then, you know, like you said, a percentage of box office gross, and they paid for his training time and personal chef for, I think it was 4 or 5 months before, in the time between when they started pre-production and when they actually started filming.
Yes, and they were originally going to film in California. I'm
Guys are
sorry,
failing now.
they were originally going to film in Toronto, but because of something that was going on at the time that I cannot remember fully, they instead got to film in California because of Schwarzenegger's political connections. He was able to secure them some aid to film the movie in California.
Yes, the state that Arnold Schwarzenegger would later be elected governor of.
Yep. So yeah, and the only other fun fact about this movie is that it was supposed to be another male Terminator going after John Connor, and that person would have been played by Vin Diesel at the time, but they decided to
Yes.
opt out.
Yes,
And they wanted to have it be a female Terminator instead.
Yes, so there's an interesting story behind both of those things. So one, Vin Diesel obviously being one of the hottest stars in the world at the time, hot off of like Fast and Furious, and I like to think of it as a big deal, but Hollywood certainly didn't. The Iron Giant, and all the other things, and of course his failed career as a romantic lead.
Yeah.
People try not to think about that when Vin Diesel had that long flowing hair. I'm still not sure if that was his or a wig, but
yeah.
That they wanted to get Vin Diesel because it was gonna sell tickets to have him in there. I almost would have offered the role to Stallone just out of shits and giggles.
Yeah.
If I was in charge. Sly had a point though when he said that nobody's gonna make a robot whose skin looks like it's falling off of his face. Which is his doctor's fault. True. But we'll get into that when we watch Rocky. But yeah. They eventually the idea for the Terminatrix actually comes from a comic called Superman versus the Terminator.
Yeah.
Wherein a female Terminator was, TX model, was sent back in time to kill Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And that's about the extent of my memory on that comic. I'd have to go back and read that again.
Also, last thing before we start the movie, Arnold was actually trying to get the studio to cast the late China as the TX.
Yes, he wanted China, aka China Doll from WWE, to be in this as the TX, and she definitely would have carried the stature for the role.
She would have been the highlight. Like I think she would have been a great counter to Robert Patrick's presence as the T-1000. No disrespect to this actress, but it does not help when she was hired. She did not have that much acting experience, and she had to take on a miming class. She had to get in the right workout shape for it, and she had to do a lot of emoting with her face.
Yes.
And she was reportedly not very good on set in terms of her performance. Like, she was...
yeah. I'm not going to say that Kristanna Loken is a bad actress. I've seen her in other things. She's pretty good, but her lack of experience in this... So she's not the first person to play a machine who had to study mime to do so. Famously, Peter Weller did so for RoboCop. And I believe... the actor who plays Takeshi Hongo in Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Segata Sanshiro, that guy. He actually studied, it was either mime or kabuki before he did Kamen Rider, which is really good because Rider, you have to express with, like, big body emotions. There's a mask in the way. Anyways, we should probably go ahead and take Sir Elton Terminator off the screen so that we can watch this film. Are you ready to go?
Yep, ready.
All right, in a 3, 2, 1. Now, in other fun facts, the original release of this film on Blu-ray was stuck at 1080i. Now, it was like an open matte presentation, which was nice, but it really sucked in terms of just picture quality because it was 1080i. The funny thing was the picture-in-picture director's commentary was 1080p. But then the director was just, here's C2 pictures, the guys we were talking about earlier. But, you know, you got the director down in the lower left-hand corner of the screen yammering on about the film throughout. So, yeah.
Well, also, too, I believe there was I don't want to say there was a petition, but there was an effort to get an extended 2.1 or 1.1 edition of 1.1 or 2.1 edition of this movie out.
Yes.
To feature extended scenes.
Yes,
but it never went through.
Yeah, I distinctly remember that. Another thing, I remember the petition from back then, and I remember, so, fun fact, this was one of the first films, like, I think it was this, The Incredibles, and National Treasure were like some of the first few films that my family had on DVD. My dad is a really big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, and so he was like, "Aw, man, we got a new Terminator coming out. We gotta watch this." And this is the first film that because I think I was like 8. This is a 2003 film, right?
Yeah. So I would have been 8 myself.
Yeah, I would have been about 8 years old when this film came out, and that was the first film that aside from films that I was not allowed to watch, this was the first film that I distinctly remember my dad being annoyed at. And here we see our first glimpse of our new John Connor.
Yeah. That's actually pretty good, so... I'm sorry, go ahead.
In terms of practical effects, I can appreciate this film for what it does.
The sets they were standing on, that was actually built, but then the background was a blue screen.
Yes.
He looks good.
Yeah. God damn it, John! You should get you some earplugs.
Yeah.
Yes, in the original, in this one, he's a construction worker. In the original script, he was supposed to be a tech CEO.
Which would have actually been more better. Okay, that's littering.
John, first off, why are you drinking Budweiser? Second, why are you littering?
Yeah.
Kevin says, so if you guys wanted my thoughts on this movie, it not only has the issue that it apes off T2 wholesale, but it also has quite a few tropes that I don't like. One being to justify Kate Brewster and John Connor. I
can somewhat agree with him on that. Kate does feel a little forced in.
I like Kate Brewster, Kate Connor in Salvation a lot more than I like her in this film.
Yeah, she's actually when we get to Salvation, she's not even the same character. She's basically just a completely new character that has the same name.
God damn it, my mic stand's drooping again. So, as well as the fact that Kate was already engaged to somebody, and then, no spoilers for this, but it's a very kind of an obvious thing. Now, this is CGI. Am I incorrect in saying that?
It's a mix of practical and CGI.
For 2003, that's not bad.
Yeah, no. Stan Winston Studios came back to do the effects for this again, along
Yeah.
with Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah, no, I've seen films that are made within the last, like, couple of years that don't look as good as this.
John, slow down. John,
Slow down,
okay.
John. God damn it,
Nice
John.
job.
Great
Your
job,
mother
jackass!
your mother bought you that motorcycle. Yep, there's Nick Stahl.
Yeah. Now, yeah.
Claire Danes. Yeah.
Am I crazy, but in comparison to this film, did John have better chemistry with, Cameron from the Sarah Connor Chronicles than he did with Kate Brewster in this film?
I would actually say yes, because so the whole thing is that the female Terminator from the Sarah Chronicles was not only a better protector, but also in terms of what she is also a forbidden love interest to John, because the idea is that John and her do have a romantic, not connection, but it's more of a romantic, potential.
Yeah.
But the problem is she's a cyborg and he is a human, so they cannot be compatible. So it's almost like, okay, it's like the forbidden fruit.
Yeah,
you can look at it.
Romeo and Julie Bot.
Yeah, there you go. Romeo and Julie Bot.
Yeah.
And here is Kristana Loken, who, just walking out naked.
Yes, and in the I need to track down the 1080i version of this film because it is open matte and it is completely uncensored, but
well, that was nice of her to do that.
Yeah.
Are you coming on to me? Oh, okay, no. Okay, so one thing I want to get into about the TX is that I understand she has to be different from the T1000, but the whole deal about Terminators is that they're supposed to blend into their surroundings.
Why is it a dial-up sound?
I don't know. Yeah, phones from 2003s didn't make those sounds.
Is she? No, she's jacking into the internet.
Sure, because you
cell
can totally
phone. Sure, that's not how that works.
No, I would have just had her stop at a nearby computer and then do that. You can't do that from a phone.
No, here's the thing. They're trying to recreate the like exciting exposition chase scene from T1, but they're doing it poorly.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we've got all this fancy-dancy new technology. And it's like, no. In fact, speaking... speaking of... I had, 3 writers. That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
So I had an incident earlier today where I was, what is sexy in the Power Rangers font? Okay. Inflataboobs.
Sure, she can just grow her... Yeah, inflataboobs. Sure.
Yeah.
Jonathan Mostel's only film.
So I had a, I was on my way home from work today, and I was going into the turn lane, and this red SUV cut me off on the way in, and then ran the red light. Oh. No balls. No balls.
Yeah.
No balls. T1 and 2 showed them killing police. Not that you have to kill police in a Terminator film, but if you have a cop and the cop gets killed, show me. We've had 2 deaths, and both of them have been... No, technically we've had 3 deaths, and all 3 of them have been off-screen. What's one of the things Terminator is known for? Blowing people the fuck up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cliche, dad is too busy for his daughter.
Yeah. Speaking of people who are not reprising their role in this film, well, there's no Sarah Connor in this film.
No, and they get into that, but
yeah,
also
they'll get into that, but
yeah, Claire Danes should be commended because she wasn't originally cast to play Kate Brewster.
No.
It was, I can't remember the other actress, but she dropped out at the last minute.
Yeah,
and
she
they
came
had
in.
to.
Yeah, let me look this up here because I remember.
Yeah, because I remember
hearing about this.
Yeah, because Claire Danes had to come in and she had to learn her lines as they were filming, and she also had to do some minor stunts because they didn't have a stunt double for her.
Yeah, and her dad is Discount Jack O'Neill.
Yep.
Aside from the F-bombs and whatnot, this film could have easily been a PG-rated film. PG-13, yeah.
Also, they're already retconning 2 because 2 they established that okay, it was the chip and the arm that were the connection to the Terminator and to Skynet, but now in this movie, no, Skynet is still made, so kind of makes blowing up the factory and 2 irrelevant. I'm sorry, the building.
If you follow on from T2 3D, Skynet does still come back in that, but they are it's sort of implied via T2 3D and some of the tie-in materials that they'd made copies of like the schematics and data and whatnot. This film kind of doesn't build on that. I think it's expecting you to already know that was something that was happening, which is, something I liked about T2 was that T2 built explicitly on things that you saw. And if you hadn't read the tie-in materials, you didn't have to bother with it. Cuz there were a bunch of tie-in materials that didn't wind up getting much use, and they weren't approved by James Cameron anyways, so you can just discard them.
Yeah. Well, also too, this I don't like it, but I do like that this movie establishes Judgment Day will be inevitable no matter what.
That's a cool effect.
And
right
Arnold,
I think
he was just walking on glass.
Well, that would have been sugar glass, but yeah, that's a really cool effect there. Hey, John, if you hadn't crashed your goddamn bike, you wouldn't be a hitchhiker.
That's true. Back when hitchhiking was still allowed not even allowed, when it was common.
Back when hitchhiking was possible, I suppose.
Yeah,
nowadays. These days, if you're hitchhiking, it's like seen as, John,
why?
You fucking stupid. Like, I know your mom was a little bit crazy, but I thought
you're supposed to be smarter.
Since Judgment Day was averted, like you'd maybe gone a little bit more mainstream than this. In fact, this is where I kind of like the original idea for this, where he's like completely changed his outlook.
Yeah.
Oh, would you look at that? We're gonna.
This is an interesting coincidence. All of this, the TX arriving, Kate and her fiance going shopping, John going to a pet shop, getting painkillers, and the T850. All of this is going on at the same time in the same night. It's like the mother of all coincidences.
Yeah. Oh, it's Dancing Bear night.
Ladies' night.
Imagine the T850 shows up.
Inappropriate.
Imagine the T850 shows up to a Dancing Bear shoot.
I do like how the T850 is subtly shown to be different than the T800, because the T800, it would act more or less the same, but the T850 at least has he at least has self-awareness to know that he's in a strip club.
Yeah.
Now.
That's a good one. Was that a Village People song? I think it...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Macho Man.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Macho Man.
Yep, there's the thumbnail.
Yep, there you go. And then he's like, no.
Yeah, this is the Village People's version of Macho Man. You see, that's just lame. It would have been funny if he'd have carried them if he'd have kept wearing them. Like, if you're gonna have a truck that old is not gonna have a car alarm.
Yeah. Showing that he has self-awareness. Good. Yep. There you go.
And there's the sunglasses from the poster.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no. Is that Marty McFly's truck from Back to the Future?
Looks like it.
Why are you here? Oh, that's why. Nah, it's just scratching the undercarriage. I know she doesn't care about that, but still. No computer super virus. Experts are calling it Vengix.
And the idea now, whereas the T-800 went to kill every Sarah Connor until it found the right one, she's now killing all of John's resistance members.
Yes.
Even though I don't think that should make sense if she kills them in the past.
But you only need one bullet technically. This Terminator 1 was essentially not exactly micro budget, but it was like mini budget, you know?
Yeah.
And you don't have the guts to show us the fucking shots.
Why is she getting the call that there's a break-in or an emergency at the pet shop?
Hey, why does he look like knockoff John Connor? What the John? Did you...
Oh, he overdosed on pain meds.
No, I think he fell asleep while doing a surgery on himself. You know, I've scratched myself up pretty badly, you know, bike accidents. Not motorcycle, but still. Why would the police not be here?
That's what I asked.
Yeah, why does her fiance look like this guy? Like, he looks like an alternate universe version of John Connor. Yeah, what? A sick cat.
Shouldn't there be some type of security?
A sick cat coming in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
What?
Would taking medicine for animals work
John
on
took
humans?
2 pills. Yeah, well, yes, that it will. Sometimes. Depends on what it is. John took 2 pills and put the fucking bottle away. And then... you know,
why are
actually,
you
hang
on.
Of... Why did... Quick question. Why did John break into the thing with his elbow? Up? When his mom taught him how to use a fucking lockpick in the last movie. Fuck it, I taught myself how to pick locks. No, it's not.
She's just trying to confuse him. You fucking idiot.
John, you're a fucking moron. Yeah, from the sound of that yeah, I was gonna say that was a paintball gun. But that's I've played paintball. Guns don't make that sound. And his hands would be fucked right now. They wouldn't just be covered in liquid. I think what they... And now granted, obviously, you're not going to shoot the actor point blank in the hands with paintballs. They probably just had him squeeze them in his hands, but... Betsy...
Can't you go to another pet clinic?
Betsy, you woke me up in the middle of the night. John being a moron is also one of the things I don't like about this movie. Yeah, no. Well, it's not just John being a moron, it's John not being... This is not what I'd call the first iteration of, like, writing a character less intelligently than they were previously established, but it is...
Go ahead.
But it is one of the earlier ones where, like, yeah, he really looks like an older Edward Furlong, a younger whatever his guy is from the future sequences. It's good casting, but... Oh boy, it would have been nice to have seen that.
Yeah, then if she knows him, then why did she lock him up?
No shit, you were 10. No.
13.
No, he was 13? I got the impression that he was younger than that, but okay. No balls.
Her.
No balls. Not even the slightest. Why didn't you ask her beforehand?
Wait a minute. You can scan her face. How could you not tell that that was not her? And now you need to taste her blood.
I can see that they've already. I can see they've already done a few takes of that because her tongue is already wet. Yeah.
They've already retconned. John,
Bender,
you used to know how to pick locks.
Bender, I'm in pain right now. That was really stupid.
No, which part?
How does she know? How does she know who she is by tasting her blood? Why could she not use the facial recognition to figure it out? Why didn't she ask her before she shot her?
Like she did the other times in this movie?
And why the fuck isn't John... You can pick a fucking master lock with a stiff piece of wire. You don't even need a turning tool. If anybody should know something like that, it's John fucking Connor.
Yeah. Now you start scanning.
Okay. Don't tell me that you can... No. I don't...
You can identify the blood of somebody? Okay, so once again, she can identify somebody by tasting their blood.
Was this written by Rian Johnson? This is really stupid. Why did she have the orgasm face on when she realized it was John Connor?
I don't know. Let me guess, the car's about to stall.
No, she's just being a fucking idiot. Yeah. And the TX is all of a sudden Jason fucking Voorhees. Fuck logistics.
She should have at least had a scratch or two from being thrown like that.
Motherfucker, it's...
You want to do another take?
It's Catherine Brewster. You know... Living on an endless road, somehow Kate survives.
And how did the Terminator know
completely unrelated explosion?
Yeah, how did the Terminator...
He barely clipped that car?
Yeah, how did the T-850 know that all three of them would coincidentally be here? We did not get a scene of him tracking them down. He just shows up because the plot demanded he show up.
We didn't get a scene of the TX tracking her down.
And again, why? See, at least he asks. Yeah, no, Alex, you know what's asinine? Is that, so, if she is planning to kill Catherine, why does she abandon her target objective to ask where John Connor is when she should at least kill her first and then ask, and then go get John?
Actually, hang on, I have another question.
I lied.
That's a reference to Commando. You don't get to make that reference. You don't get to make that reference, no. T3. Commando is one of the greatest movies ever. John, you should already be out of there.
Catherine Brewster, remember when I said I would let you go last? Yes, I lied.
My headcanon answer to your earlier question was that the TX was touching herself at the thought of killing John Connor.
John, you are a disgrace to your mother. I just hope you know that. Your mother would be ashamed of you.
Nope. That's this makes me angry. This makes me fucking angry. It's the sound effects from the fucking General Series 6000 that I used for the Evangelions.
And now we are just mirroring Sarah Connor seeing the T-800 again from T2.
Is it a... Why the fuck would I be here to kill you?
If I was here to kill you, you would be dead. It's good to know.
Why she would have the necessary hormones to have arousal and sexual fluids because Skynet felt like it. Literally, the fucking... wow. No, that's, like, it's General Series 6000 sound effects. They didn't even change the pitch. Why did you miss? Oh, he didn't miss.
No, he got her.
Yeah.
She's bulletproof.
She's just... Ow.
You damaged my sunglasses, you bitch.
You fucked up my face.
Okay. So, that's cheating.
Yeah.
Why didn't the T-1000 get that shit?
Yeah. Like, I understand the... That is not a Los Angeles Fire Department truck. That is a utility pickup truck that you put Los Angeles Fire Department on the side of. You can't lie to me.
Well, this movie did have a budget of over $100 million.
100? This guy looks like... Hey, they cut something out there.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, no, that's...
Are you kidding me?
There's a line... I remember that line. There's a line where the other guy says, you should be working out more.
Yeah.
What the...
You cannot...
What the hell happened here?
Into a cop car. I don't know. What? You cannot hack into... Never mind.
Other songs in our torture playlist include the theme from Friends, Headstrong, Three's Company theme, Macarena, and Paranoia Agent's intro.
So you're telling me...
Network failure.
That... Okay, sure. Then she shouldn't have been even able to get a call in the first place if she's...
It's kind of funny.
She's not by power.
The lifting firefighter there, he kind of looks like Johnny Gioeli from Crush 40.
Miss TX, why are you taking the fire?
Vehicle remote control.
Wait, what?
This made sense. In Doctor Who, this made some degree... That's not a fucking rescue squad.
So
that's
wait a minute,
rescue squad? Did they
should have only been able to...
Did they downgrade the rescue squad? Because that does not... That looks like a...
He should have only been able to hack into one police car and control it. How can she control all of them plus the ambulance? That doesn't make any sense.
There was an episode of Doctor Who all about this. That makes sense because Doctor Who is like different. We've very specifically averted scientific advancements in this film.
He's gonna take the motorcycle. Get off.
I need your motorcycle.
Because we need to recreate the chase sequence from T2.
He could have just stolen her car if they hadn't blown it up for no fucking reason. What? Oh, god damn it, John. Actual footage of me on the road today. Hey, this...
It was actually technically her fault.
I was about to complain. Okay, so this is day for night here. $100 million production, you're shooting day for night.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, I seem to recall LA County Fire Department rescue squads having like more toolboxes on the outside, like utility like utility gear. Here, like if you've ever seen the show Emergency, that's what I'm thinking of. And that's how emergency squads generally look. Even to this day, they still look like that. Because I you know, when I was a kid, I'd just show you around the fire department if you asked, and they had the classic pickup truck with utility gear on the back of it. This is just retarded. This is so dumb.
Yeah,
this is putting the idea before whether it makes any sense. And I know people have... You didn't have to spend money on that.
No, but it's the only practical action sequence in this movie, and it's actually pretty good out of context.
Yeah. I think the way they...
Okay.
If they wanted to... You know what else was popular around this time? Charlie's Angels. They could have...
Yeah.
They could have, like, created Charlie's Devils and sent, like, a team of female Terminators back in time to kill John Connor.
Actually would have been more effective. Also,
and had them driving the fucking cars instead of this.
She's supposed to be smarter.
What the?
Why did she? What? Why didn't she just take a random car that belonged to a police officer to get up to them faster?
Why are you doing this?
Why did you take the crane car?
Why are you
causing all this destruction?
Yeah, what the fuck is the point of all this? How does this achieve you any kind of... Oh, she's turned it around now. That is not the sound that shotgun makes. That is not the sound that shotgun makes when it gets cocked. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that was cool. Again, I feel like had she just taken a squad car, she would have been able to get him faster.
Yeah, we're either too many drafts or too few drafts into this, and I'm not sure which.
That truck is holding up pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's holding up better than any of my vehicles in Grand Theft Auto, and she started doing this thing again. Okay.
It just feels like it's unnecessary and excessive. The T-1000 only did this type of destruction because he was basically desperate.
Nah, no, they're trying to... At this point, they're just trying to one-up. Alex, if we went with that idea, John would immediately surrender on the prospect of having a threesome. Well, that's something that I've heard said about,
yeah,
the Sarah Connor Chronicles, and this to some extent, where it's like,
yeah.
So you can create Arnold Schwarzeneggers, you can create Kristanna Lokens, you can create Random Fire Truck Go. That's a 70s era truck, actually.
Get that. Is it me, or does it feel like Schwarzenegger is kind of phoning in his performance?
A little bit. Well, part of the problem is the sound design in this movie is terrible.
Yeah.
And
you're watching the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I've got more experience with sound effects than your average person, I'll admit, but when I hear stock sound effects that are just frankly fucking inaccurate, it bugs me. And I don't always notice, but it bothers me when I do. And this one, I'm like, yeah, I think that might be the original Engine 51 from, no, the original Engine 51 was a top open. And okay, hey, because I'm thinking...
My car's bigger than your car. My truck can kick your truck's ass. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no. Well,
why did it just make the Jaguar meet Real sound?
That's a very good question. Yeah.
How heavy is
Bender,
she?
you're not wrong. Arnie is phoning it in. And yeah, I would too. But at the same time, this movie has abysmal sound mixing.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't help.
It certainly doesn't help that he's not giving it his all in terms of like the delivery. But at the same time,
Christopher Nolan did it better.
Yeah, none of the lines
that was CG.
Yeah, that's CGI. It's impressive CGI, but it is still noticeably CGI. Where did all of the color go?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was just about
to ask. This is shot on completely different film stock than it was in the earlier scenes.
Yeah, did we lose color? Like, I remember this movie looking very muddy and very orange.
Okay, so this is clearly the same cameras they used for the rig, and this is a completely different camera.
Also, you're gonna laugh at this, Alex, but you know who the DP for this movie was?
Was it somebody I know who does good movies?
He was the one who did the cinematography for Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie the year before this movie came out.
No! Of course he doesn't! Uncle Bob is dead! No shit!
Yes!
You knew this, John?
He told you. Okay, no, he told you. Sarah told you.
Is this... I think I know what's going on here, because they're shooting green screen. This is $100 million film. This is $100 million film in 2003, right?
Yeah.
With some of the worst optical compositing I've seen outside of no-budget bullshit.
At least
the CGI looked
Terminator
good.
Salvation.
Like,
yeah, it did, but at least Terminator...
No, look, the color's back, and the color's gone again. Look at the posterization.
I see it.
Is there something wrong with one of the lenses? They did not cut that right.
No.
Arnold paused for breath, and they didn't go back for another take. No shit, John!
You only postponed it. Judgment Day is inevitable.
This scene's been making the rounds on YouTube.
Why didn't this happen 5 years ago then? Why did it take 10 years to get the TX to come back and kill Catherine? I'm sorry, to kill John's lieutenant.
Oh, yeah, no, because in the events of, why aren't you pulling over?
Because.
Why is the T-850 powered by hydrogen when the T-800 was powered by nuclear energy?
Because I guess the Skynet thought that hydrogen fuel cells were better than nuclear.
The nuclear fuel cells didn't explode. The nuclear fuel cells and you can put that back, you know. Yeah, not only were the nuclear fuel cells smaller than this, they were less volatile. You're an obsolete design, and yet you have a higher number than the one that came before you.
But you were able to actually do some damage against her, so you can't be obsolete.
If you hadn't thrown your chest out the window, you could have put that back. I know you're a healing robot.
I'm not shitting you.
Bender,
this just feels like a design flaw.
Yeah, no. So the blocking is incorrect on that, and Bender, you should recognize some of those zappy sound effects, because I used them in your Space Ghost video.
Yeah, you did. Relax.
Why does it look like a nuclear explosion? Why does it look like a miniature nuclear explosion?
Yeah, again, I don't think they understand how hydrogen explosions look, so they were just like, let's just use a stock nuclear. Then why didn't you just stick with the nuclear design?
Computer down, no credit cards, yep. Why are you... What? Why are you buying so much food?
Grabbing food for Cade and John.
Actual depiction of Arnold Schwarzenegger's post-workout diet.
Yeah.
Kevin says, you wonder why I didn't want to watch this movie with you guys or any of the sequels. You watched it on your own. You could have watched it with us. It would have been more fun. No.
Talk to the hand.
That's a good line.
See, now the lighting looks fine.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's not a composite shot. So when you make an optical composite, right? This movie was made before they had digital mastering widespread. So they would have done this. Arnie, what the fuck was that? Why did you do that? Oh, he did it so he could put John in the back? That's great. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear hints of the Terminator theme in here. Marco Beltrami did not do a terrible job with this soundtrack, but,
It's not that great.
Danny Elfman did better for Salvation. Junkie XL did better for, Dark Fate. I don't even remember who did it for Genesis. Hey, where the... Hey, where were you in T2?
Yeah, so, okay, again, I am not a professional writer. I took very little creative writing, but a character that randomly is now inserted into a movie when they didn't exist to spout exposition about the main character like this is not good.
No.
Because they're trying to essentially say that, oh, these two have always had a connection, but they don't have any chemistry, and it doesn't help that these actors had to do scenes with each other on the very same day that they were filming without getting to know one another.
Yeah, well, you know, this film is somewhat legendary in terms of stupid production decisions, but, you know.
Also, again, she says that she talks about him like she had a crush on him, but she didn't like how he was a bad boy. But then she still is very dismissive of him. So, which is it? She hasn't even asked why did you do this? What is going on? Why is he here? She's just wondering, why am I being kidnapped?
See, if I was John, I'd bring back the Uncle Bob lie, you know? Well, like, if I have to...
oh, this is my Uncle Bob.
He's
trying to keep us safe.
Yeah, this is Bob Connor. He's here to help. You know, that crazy chick, that crazy chick is trying to kill us. You know, well, it's like, that's easy. Not difficult. John, how do you not remember this?
Because it's almost like she was. It's almost like she was never meant to be here, Alex.
Yeah. Oh no. This is an issue I bring up in my review of The Last of Us. Actually,
why didn't
insert characters that we don't fucking know about?
Okay, if she has to be somebody that he knows, here's my question: why didn't you just say that this was one of his friends, and that's it?
What?
I don't know.
They hooked up the day before the events of Terminator 2?
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't remember that. Both in terms of, like, I don't remember that in terms of this, and I don't remember that in terms of it definitely didn't fucking happen.
No, it straight up didn't happen. Oh, yeah, by the way, where's the fiancé?
Still asleep for some reason.
Well, it has been a day, because remember, the events in this movie happened between 4 and 5 in the morning. It is now, I'm going to assume, 10 or 11 in the morning? Oh, come on! You couldn't even show him getting killed.
That's a reference to something, but I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I know that Bella Edwards is a...
Could you not show more emotion?
Oh, I mean,
You're supposed to infiltrate.
Yeah, he is supposed to be the Terminator right now, but Arnold did a better job.
That's what I'm asking.
That was one of his first mainstream films. Well, mainstream-ish. That was one of... Fuck it, I'm not even...
And now we get to what happened to Sarah Connor.
What happened to Sarah Connor?
And we also get a reveal that is, I guess, supposed to be...
Why is Sarah buried in a above-ground 1997 No Fape of What We Make? I watched the sequels just because I own the 6-pack Blu-ray. Yeah, I know. How...
Oh, that's messed up.
Died in 1997, right after the events of T2 3D. Yeah, that's...
Wait.
God fucking damn it. Can we stop just have... Yeah? Okay.
She was never buried.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, yeah, no, okay. I'm down with this.
Leukemia. Your character is inconsistent.
Bender?
Yeah?
Which one? You'll have to be more specific.
Okay, fair. Okay, Kate is being inconsistent right now.
Yeah.
Judgment Day. Kate has no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
That's not him!
That's fucked up.
No! This is...
Go ahead, do it. No balls, do it. I actually love this bit.
That is, for all of this film's flaws, that was great.
Don't do that. And they actually did a pretty good job of hiding the CG.
Yeah.
Why would you throw tear gas?
I mean, it's not tear gas, it's a smoke grenade, but why? What the fuck, why?
Okay, so I'm not, again, Alex, I'm not a police expert, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to say, we have the building surrounded, come out with your hands up, or we will use excessive force.
It's...
They literally just threw
it's the
smoke
immediate
in there.
sudden intrigue thing.
And now we're doing this.
Yes, you were. You saved the goddamn world in the last movie.
Wait. I love this bit.
There it is. Now, we shouldn't have had to have gotten there. Like I said, we shouldn't have had to get here, but, you know, it's better than
you
nothing.
Should not talk to your father. You should not talk to your father like that.
My copy of Dark Fate was screwed up, so I just streamed it off Paramount Plus. That's a blessing in disguise, my friend.
Yeah. Okay, so we can show that, but we can't show her pulling the fiance.
Okay.
Make up your mind. Sure.
I don't believe you. Yeah, that's why you don't.
So fun fact,
fuck it. What is this? What are you, the fucking Spetsnaz? You don't gas the fucking hostages.
Oh, look who it is, Alex.
Hello.
I don't think that's a good question to ask.
No shit, Sherlock. That... Doc? Doc,
what?
Doc, can you shut the... Doc, you saw this in the last couple of films. What the fuck? Shut the fuck up.
So, fun fact, we were actually supposed to get Lance Reddick's character in a cameo in this movie instead of him. But I think they... Yeah, but they just decided not to do that.
Well, Lance probably wouldn't have wanted to come back anyways, because he's friends with James Cameron.
That's true. I'm just going for a stroll.
I'm going for a stroll with my pet coffin. I'm here. I'm here to fucking rock and roll. Why all of the frame drops? Was this directed by Peter Jackson?
Possible and insane. Bye, Dr. Silverman. Thank you.
Okay. This is a poor attempt to recreate the minigun scene from T2 with a fucking
human casualties.
And of course, you know, we're going to have the fucking chain gun. John, stay in the fucking casket.
Can we not talk about this while we're getting fired at? Do I need to spell it out for you, dumbass?
Oh, pre-orders for Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman on Blu-ray are up.
Yeah, I know. They need to they need to do the My Adventures of Superboy next.
My Adventures with Superman or or the Superboy show? Which one are you talking about?
The Superboy show.
Yeah, Superboy show. Well, I have a couple of seasons of that on DVD, the ones that were going out of print.
Yeah.
Why are you revealing yourself this early? You fucking moron. Were you dropped on your head as a subroutine?
Probably.
Kristanna Loken was all of a sudden the film quality decreases, even though it was not a composite shot. That is, why didn't you use the line? You're making an homage to the line. Just use the line. Well, Genesis and Dark Fate will make sure that wish comes true. God damn it, you're right.
Yeah. And now we're recreating the T-1000 run.
Yeah, there's no fucking way Kristanna Loken's catching that.
Your fiance is dead.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Scott. And we got to know him so well.
Oh dear, not discount what's his name?
John Connor.
Not discount John Connor. Well, I was going to make a different reference, but
oh, okay.
Why don't you just shoot them? Why are you using a circular saw? Why don't you just shoot them?
Shooter.
This is why the T-1000 had limits. This is why the T-1000 could only make sharp objects. One of those hubcaps just went rolling away. Why is the visual quality on John low when John's in a separate... John's being filmed from a separate angle? Loaded AK-47 in the casket. My name is Optimus Prime. And we just went full Griswold.
Yep.
You know, when you're stealing gags from National Lampoon's Vacation, you might not be making a good Terminator movie.
I think that's how you know you fucked up.
Thank you.
How is it still driving?
You're a mimetic polyalloy. Why is the...
Oh, that flamethrower. Oh,
that
God.
Looks awful.
Even by 2003!
You could have... Man, there are ways that you can make that work. I know that...
All you had to do was just have You could have just had somebody fire an actual flamethrower in the trees, digitally mask them out, put Kristana Loken on with a green screen sleeve, have her do the motion.
Bender, you don't even have to do that. What you can do, here's what we can do. We can shoot, we'll do what they did in Forrest Gump. We'll shoot a clean shot of Kristana Loken pointing her hand with a green screen sock on it up to the sky, right? Or the prop or whatever. Yeah. You know, the prop prosthetic pointing up at the sky towards the thing. And have a pyrotechnic in the tree trigger so that we've got, like, lighting reference and whatnot. Then we can have, or, you know, it doesn't matter what order this is shot in, really. So just rearrange things appropriately. Then you rig up a dummy dressed and styled to look like Kristana Loken, and then have the film quality just changed again. And then you have the flamethrower her in there, so that we see the shot going up, and then bada bing, bada boom. It's that easy. You don't have to CGI it. It's... Forrest Gump did this 5-6 years prior? Not literally that, but they did... excuse me. But they did... That's how they did the running shot. That's, But Kristana Loken would be tempted to do sock puppet routines? Well, that would be funny. So, that would make for good outtakes, yeah. So, Arnold's clearly pausing for breath between some of these lines, and, you know, you could have gone back and fixed that with ADR, right?
What? Sure.
He sounds
so
like
this is an alternate future. This is an alternate timeline, then? No, it's not. No.
Today? Hey. Hey, Termy. Could you maybe have come back with a bit more notice than this?
Yeah. It's currently... It's 4 p.m.? It shouldn't... Okay, whatever. Yeah.
John, is that
necessary? You're not going to do it.
Your trigger discipline is changing between shots. It's irritating me. So So now we're imagining John Connor being cornered by the TX and Summer Glau in an episode of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, and the two Terminators reveal their primary function to have an epic threesome with John, to which he's like, alright, let's do this. Oh, and throw Kate Brewster in there for a foursome.
You know... So, okay.
Okay, so I understand this.
This actually...
I understand the concept behind this, but...
Yeah. So, okay. So, to recap, they have 2 hours till Judgment Day. It is currently 4 p.m. And they have 1 hour to get there. So that means they're going to get there by 5 p.m. or sometime after 5 p.m. Okay. Question. Why did it have to be specifically at 6:18 p.m.? Why that specific time?
That is a very good question.
Because that means all of the events that have been up until now have taken place in less than a day. And it was coincidentally on Judgment Day that this happens.
This is why Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 are better movies. They don't take place on what those films consider to be Judgment Day.
Yeah, because, okay. So
wherever
the
you
TX
go,
is
you
going
do,
back
I will
in
be
time
right there waiting for
to
you.
kill John... Oh, yeah, Yep, we're about to get some info. Yep. Sure. Yes. You're dead.
Yeah.
I killed him.
This is a concept that they'd been toying with for a while. Oh, thanks, Kay.
Oh, okay.
See, this part of the plot makes sense.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Skynet used his bond for the T-800 to infiltrate and make him think that it was on his side, only to have the T-850 kill John.
Yeah, no, I like that as a concept, having a couple of spare Terminators in stock and keeping them dormant until after the war and getting their revenge. That's a cool idea for a future war movie.
Yeah. Yeah, too bad we didn't get that. Again, when we get to Salvation, I'm going to be bitching about what we could have gotten.
I have fond memories of Salvation, but I have problems with that film too.
It's a flaw, to be sure, but compared to what we got in the three sequels, it's arguably the better one that you could actually want to see a continuation to. Also, another thing I was going to say earlier, if Judgment Day is about to happen right now, what is the point of sending the T8, the TX, and the T850 back in time on that day to try and achieve their missions?
I'm imagining the minute before he killed John Connor in the future, he performed a fatal blow on him, thumbs up before shotgun included. So, the idea of...
Because, okay, I get it. The TX was sent back in time to kill John's lieutenants. before they joined in the war. Okay.
Yeah.
But the T-850 tells us that Judgment Day is inevitable, and coincidentally, it's going to happen at this predestined time. So his goal is not to go back and save...
in this part of the country, localized entirely within Reno, Nevada.
Entirely. Yes. May I see it? No. Okay, so I think if this movie had another hour, I think it would have actually been a better chance to iron out some of the problems.
Well, Bender, you know, there was just so much that they had to include in this film. They couldn't have cut a bunch of the random bullshit that happens in the first half.
No, totally. But it's like, okay, again, why didn't you just... it feels like this is going off of a second or third draft. This does not feel like a finished draft script.
No. No, it's got dialogue that sounds like placeholder notes. It's got... That guy in the back looks like James Cameron. It's got events that don't make a whole lot of sense. Like they were just... Like a summary was written and then they had to figure it out in production rather than like figuring it out.
Okay, so here's how I would have. Yeah. Here's how I would have fixed it. We keep the idea that okay, maybe John meets Kate Brewster when he's on the run, and and they form a connection. We can have it be either there's a friendship there or a romantic connection. Either way, we establish that he is new to his life, and maybe she's what he needs right now to get his head straight, and maybe forget about Judgment Day. Yeah. And then you have the events of this movie happen, and you reveal, that in 3 years.
Look at this. The T1s look so immensely scuffed, even though the T70s, which were made before this, look so much better.
Yeah, no, Alex. Stan Winston Studio built the T1s.
No, I like the look of the T1s. I'm just saying the T70s from Terminator 2 3D, Battle Through Time, look a lot better.
Yeah, but anyway.
And this film kind of expects you to have seen part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is weird because it's Universal Studios, right? Sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying. You just have Kate be introduced in this movie and not have her have a past connection to John.
Well, you know what they could have done? They've got all this stuff at the start of the film, right? Let's change all of that. Let's cut all of that down. Fuck it, we've already recast John Connor. Let's cast a new young actor as John Connor. Let's do a scene of him returning to fucking school.
What if Vin Diesel was the T-850 instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Hell, if they'd have made it a T-850 versus a T-800, that would have been better than the fucking pseudo liquid TX here.
If we're going to rehash, oh my God, Alex! No, hear me out, Alex. What if we keep the idea that they bring Arnold back as the T-850, as the T-850 model, as the T-101 model to kill John Connor? We use that idea for this, and we have a different model, which is the T-850, go back and protect him and Kate.
God fucking damn it, guys. That's made of plastic. She'll be back. There exists a Terminator by Skynet called the T-Infinity, which has the assignment of correcting any and all anomalies in the timelines. It's essentially, He Who Remains from Loki, but before that. Yeah, it's from the comics. Humanity. Yeah, I prefer the big old liquid metal T-10,000. Now these look really fucking cool, but I can't help but think of RoboCop when I see them. Which is probably why RoboCop versus the Terminator exists. But yeah, if you wanted to have them be, like, long-lost childhood friends or whatever the hell, just recast young John Connor, have a new actor play, that's really bad editing. That's slightly better editing. I know, James Cameron would have had him pushing the... That's the sound of a helicopter. You're just... This really was The Force Awakens of its time. No comment? Eh. Kate? Why are you asking stupid questions? What about, Cheyenne Mountain Nuclear Facility? You couldn't have had him stand a couple of feet backwards so that the green screen would look less obvious? Just pan to the right, for fuck's sake. You know what we could have done today that would have been more substance? A rewatch of Man of Steel, since today is its 12th anniversary. I'm actually planning on doing that once we get done here, but yeah. I don't see how he really has any direct responsibility for this. That's a Predator drone. That's not a Predator drone, actually. That's like a... That looks like a SWAT Cat's Predator drone. Discount Jack O'Neill is dead. And he didn't even get to crack any good jokes. Why didn't you check your magazine? Duh. That's really bad. I was about to say choreography, but it's not. The choreography's fine. It was the continuity. That's the pot-breaking sound effect from Ocarina of Time.
Because fuck it, why not? Also, you could... That's CG. He's not even slamming her. He's just slamming a blue pillow and a blue screen. Yeah, I was gonna say, they're not even using a dummy. They're just using a blue... Yeah, like you said, a blue cushion, like a blue... It was literally a blue... Yeah, it was a blue cushion, yeah.
Well, at least you didn't use the Ocarina of Time pot-breaking sound effect again.
This is the most embarrassing fight ever.
No. No, I've seen worse. Why are you grabbing me by the balls? They are made of metal. I've got balls of steel. Yeah.
Also, we're going to get a sign of how deep this movie is, because this whole section feels like it's a high-budget TV movie.
Well, I have a bunch of questions about why they just do the frame drop effect. What the hell?
That did not look good.
I know you stole that from something, I just can't remember what. I think it might be Star Wars, but I couldn't swear to it.
Oh, that rubber looks... Oh, here we go.
That's actually not a bad effect.
And... No, but this is...
Why? We had better effects than this back in Terminator 2.
They literally
this is really
have...
fucking embarrassing.
No, you could have hacked him at any time. Why did you wait till now to do it?
Why are you cutting away from the hacking now when you just showed us a really shitty visual effect?
That's blue screen.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain about it. It doesn't look too terrible.
No.
Predator mini drone indoors because fuck it. That thing couldn't have gotten through the windows, but through the doorway because its wings are too wide.
Why does it not have miniguns?
Boy, oh boy, you are really stupid. What? You know what this is reminding me of? The Rise of Skywalker, except instead of the bad guy not being able to look up, it's the bad guy not being able to look down. Congratulations, Kate, now they know where you are. You could have just stayed down and they wouldn't have noticed you. God damn, that's a little bit hot. Freud. They're trying to do the Smallville Lois Lane thing with her, and they're failing. She's coming. The only way to get out there is to use your penis, John. And now we're going inside the particle accelerator, which means that we're probably, you know, this isn't Judgment Day, this is M Day. This is where all the mutants come from in the Flash TV show. Or the metas, whatever. Why are you using the fucked up hand rather than the one that works? John, drop the gun. Drop the gun. Oh, whatever. That could have been better. That could have been a lot better. That's actually kind of a cool effect. Keep fucking moving, John!
Oh my god.
John! Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Where's my soundboard?
Oh, now you go.
John! John! Keep moving, John! There we go.
You know, all of this could have been avoided if you had just gone with the T-850 to the safe, secure site.
You know what?
Oh my god, that's bad.
Yeah, that was really bad compositing.
Man.
Oh wow, this is even worse compositing.
Oh.
You know, there's a reason, you know, back in, you know how they did this back in back in
yeah,
T2,
they used the motion cap.
They didn't fucking show this.
Yeah, no. So okay, originally
you should have showed him doing it from the front. Here's how they could have done it: put a fucking blue mask on him, have him sit up, and then pick up a prop from behind him, right?
No. Yeah. So Alex. Here's how they were originally going to do it. They originally were going to have somebody wear a gray cap, and they would have the head represent. They would have the head be represented by a gray cap, and they would move the cap on as if they were putting their head back on. But they decided at the last minute to just have it be a green screen mask, where the stunt actor would just mime themselves putting the head back on.
Bender,
yes.
The way I said they should have described it is how they were going to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
How are you able to warn? How are you able to warn them? If you've been reprogrammed, why are you able to warn them?
Oh.
Why isn't it?
Why
isn't it a prop plane? Why does airport? Why does the Air Force? Why does the Air Force general know? Why does he have a fucking prop plane?
He's not even doing anything.
Ow.
You fucking idiot.
Once again, they've forgotten. I think John forgot that this isn't Uncle Bob from T2, and I think the writers forgot that as well.
I think the writers forgot about that along.
The writers forgot a lot of things.
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law. You literally stole that from RoboCop.
Uh-huh.
Again.
Just straight from T2.
I don't want to beat a dead horse here. Yep. But had you just listened to him and let him take you to the fallout shelter, this wouldn't be happening.
They just ripped off the fucking thing where Sarah brings her hand down next to the CPU. What
I think his programming thinks that car is John Connor. He's trying to fight it. It's just stupid.
No, I'm asking the
He's
filmmakers
playing Street Fighter 2, the bonus round. I don't know. They love the Street Fighter 2 bonus round where you destroy the car.
Oh, my car! How is the plane not running away? It doesn't have any chocks on the wheels.
I don't know.
No shit, she can fly. She's a what the fuck ever.
We never established once that she knew how to fly a goddamn plane. I don't care if she's the daughter of somebody from the military. You could have at least had a scene where she said, "I could get us there faster if we had a plane."
Yeah, my dad was in the Navy. I could totally pilot a nuclear submarine.
Totally. How much gas is in that plane?
I don't fucking know. That's a guitar tuner pedal. That's a cheap guitar tuner pedal that they pulled out of its housing.
Look, Alex. Most of the budget went to the effects and the insane stunts. They didn't have enough money to actually build this shit.
Yeah, this is like just go down to Guitar Center, pick up a cheap tuner pedal, with a matrix screen on it that we can put a number on.
Feels like we just added that whole subplot of him being controlled by the TX just so we can drag the movie out longer.
Yeah. That thing around his eye, I had that happen once. That's just unpleasant. It took like a month for that to go away. What the fuck are you doing, John?
I don't even think he knows anymore. Congratulations, dumbass. You just wasted ammo for no reason.
Why would John become a construction worker instead of a cop? So that way he could keep his nose... Yeah, or like the thing that they had in the original script for this film, where he was going to be head of a tech company. Or, he could have been a bounty hunter. He could have been if he'd have been a fucking cop, he could have kept his eye on things.
Do you remember how to hack, John?
John, do you remember Easy Money? Where are all your gadgets?
I guess you lost them.
Fucking Simon goddamn Says up in this bitch.
I'm pretty sure, don't get me wrong here, but I'm pretty sure you would have to activate that sequence in a fast motion.
James Cameron would have actually crashed a helicopter.
Where the fuck have you been?
And we have a bot in the Twitch chat again. That's just great. I'm gonna have to ban you. So, when I was thinking, and now we're just crashing another fucking helicopter, but this one actually looks fairly good. That's not gonna kill her if I know how this goes. Arnie, what happened to the rest of your body? You didn't look this fucked up when you left. That crash wouldn't... That's
Sure.
Just another... Just another one. Just another General Series 6000. So's that one. Because they have to recreate the Terminator getting crushed from the end of T1. Go, 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 go. Move right now, move right the fuck now.
Go.
She's just leaving her legs behind. The funny thing is, the TX doesn't have a time limit. Will we, John? Will we?
Well, yes, we will. Well, that's ironic foreshadowing. They will meet again, but, that's actually the animatronic.
I have had enough of you. I like the animatronic work. I like
animatronic
and CGI face.
You are terminated. That's CG. That was actually Kristanna Loken doing motion capture.
Yeah.
Come on, say it. There you go. And the worst explosion imaginable. Oh my god, what happened to the frame rate?
Yeah, this film has just been dropping frames left and right like it's trying to be a Peter Jackson movie.
Worked.
But it looks fucking awful.
Again, how is the DP the same guy who did Sam Raimi's Spider-Man? I don't understand.
Well, you know, the DP is only as good as his storyboards, and the storyboards for this film must not have been very good.
No, because if I remember, I'm pretty sure it was the writers who did the storyboards.
I mean, you can do that, but that's distracting to me.
Yeah.
I fucking had that pedal, too. It was a piece of shit made out of plastic, but I had it. No! 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 You did not use the first stock door opening sound effect in your fucking library!
Yeah, they did.
Yeah!
Well, what do you think it is, John?
It's a fucking secret bunker, John! Remember the bunker that her dad told you to get to, John? John?
Yeah, but yes, he did. He completely forgot. He thought they were going to blow up Skynet.
These
he
scenes...
legit thought that.
Were these scenes written independently of each other? The last time I saw something that was this incoherently put together was literally The Rise of Skywalker. No, it was Joker 2. I take that back.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. He thought they were going to blow up Skynet computers, even though her dad told him and her they were going to a bunker. Why did he bring the bombs?
You strapped a guitar tuner to a box and called it a bomb.
Yes.
Of course he... Yeah, because if he was going to save anybody, it was going to be his daughter.
I can't wait for Christian Bale to replace you. This truly was worth it. He did!
Because he was trying to save your lives, you moron!
The T-850 was trying to save your lives and was trying to take you here.
Your dad
father was... I give up. You had two people tell you face to face to go.
John, did you hit the countdown timer on the fucking bomb by accident?
Yeah, pretty sure he did.
John, unplug that. John? Fuck.
Suicide is badass!
Suicide is painless. It brings on many changes. And I can take or leave it if I please.
Oh, where's the president? Is he dead?
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of feel like the VIP bunker should be more up to date than this, but whatever.
Oh, it is. It's from 30 years ago.
John, why?
John. I am.
I suppose I am.
No, I don't buy that. That's not earned. That is not
No, we did
earned.
not develop these characters enough. Yeah, and there's a deleted scene, by the way. Do you want to watch the deleted scenes? I have them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, I like the idea of this. There's a deleted scene here that reveals...
This...
What the fuck happened here?
Again, yeah, and I hate that we didn't get to see it. We had over $100 million and we couldn't show one goddamn scene of it. Again, in a bubble, this is actually pretty bitter, very sour, and it actually is perfect.
It's a cool idea.
The music, the narration. Yeah, the music, the narration. What's happening all around. Multiple times, but you didn't listen to him. Yeah, there you go. See?
Why is his skull still intact?
I don't know.
He got blown up and then crushed.
No, it's not done with electric. This is a...
This is like a 4 out of 10.
No, sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. The music doesn't help.
Michael Papa
it's like
John,
a 5
yeah.
out. It's like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm...
Like on its best day, it's a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm flip-flopping back and forth. I was gonna say a 3, and I was like, no, I know what's coming. I know that it gets worse.
Like, there are good things in here. There are good concepts. Again, Judgment Day, the T-850 being modeled after the T-800 being sent in to kill John Connor because of his familiar familiar bond with it. The idea of the ending showing us Judgment Day and also showing us how no matter what you do, it's inevitable. Like, Arnold is kind of a highlight sometimes when he's not phoning it in, and the action sequences were kind of cool, and I can see that's where most of the money was spent. But yeah, no, the story... this story just feels so incomplete.
Yeah, no, we've gone in on making the film without having started the film, I'd say.
Yeah, no. You had nearly a decade to get this film ready. And this is what you come up with. Like, I don't blame Arnold. Yeah.
Yeah,
you wasted ILM, you wasted...
Really wanted to do this film.
Yeah.
Really wanted to write this film. And the people they turned down. Hey, Bender, what the fuck is this song? Anyways, so Bender,
I don't know, but I don't think it fits.
Yeah, no, I don't think it fits either. But this is a Warner Brothers thing for the for this particular era where they just throw random shit onto the soundtrack of the films. But here's
okay, but anyway, go on.
Do you know how much time James Cameron had to do let me look this up here. James Cameron Aliens, cuz he wrote a bunch of scripts. He had deadlines that he had to meet, and so he had to get stuff. 1979, Alan Ladd Jr., Alien 2, Joe Wiesen, and yeah, so in 1983, so Cameron had to work on The Terminator, First Blood Part 2, Aliens, and he was developing a couple of other films at the time. He had to write a certain amount of script pages for each script every day. Alternatively, we could have just not had another Terminator sequel after T2, agreed. But no, we had to have not one, but 2 sequels and 2 reboots. No, there's technically only one reboot. Genesis does follow on from Salvation. They tried to pretend it didn't, but it does. But yeah, so James Cameron, while he was working on Terminator, Rambo, Aliens, and a bunch of other stuff at the time. I mean, he wrote the fuck out of these scripts in a very short period of time. Terminator 1 had to be rewritten in a certain period of time. The treatment for Aliens had to be written in 3 days. First Blood Part 2 had to be done let me see how long that took. Yeah, it had to be done from in like less than a year. So Cameron did screenplay, first draft of the screenplay. The way John Connor finds Kyle Reese and Genesis would respectfully disagree with you. So the problem is that Genesis reuses a bunch of things that happen in Salvation, and they also use a bunch of unused ideas from Salvation. So it's one of those things where it's not a reboot, but it's also not a sequel.
Genesis and the Dark Fate would both take ideas from Salvation, even though both of those films were made to basically say Salvation never happened.
Right, which is kind of funny because
it's ironic.
Of every single film that followed Terminator 2, if we don't count T2 3D, Salvation's the only really good one. Like, it's the highest. It's like a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
I would say on its best day, it's a 7 out of 10 because at the bare minimum, it at least told a story that wasn't a shot-for-shot remake of T1 and 2. It actually took us to the future, and it showed us what... Yeah, the current future, and it showed us...
I was talking about that was the song that played during the credits. It was like, what?
Oh, okay. That's weird. But yeah, no.
Play the video game by Atari. The game has a better story than this.
Yeah.
I have the game, actually.
Yeah. No, like, again, T-Salvation was just better. I'm sorry. Like, even in when we get to T-Salvation, I want to mention there's a comic book that actually takes place after Salvation, and it's basically how Salvation would have wrapped up. So I'm very excited to talk about that.
The Complex is a song from the Blue Man Group featuring Gavin Rossdale from Bush. Okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's from a concept album. That's why it doesn't fucking fit. It's from a concept album that has nothing to do with Terminator.
Yeah, no. So T3 was definitely a low point, and again, it's basically the first 2 acts are literally just remaking Terminator 2. That's it. It's just doing Terminator 2 again.
I'd say it's them remaking Terminator 2 and Terminator 3, personally. Because there's a bunch of stuff in there.
No, I'm saying...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, what I was saying is that, Terminator 3, so it only gets original when we get to Skynet, but before that, it's just, there's a website, I don't know if it's up, but there's actually a website that was dedicated to showing you the many shots that were taken and remade from Terminator 2, even following similar story beats from Terminator 2. Yeah, no, sorry. So
Yep. Okay,
this was
so
a
let
low
me...
point.
Yeah, let
Like,
me pull up
we
the
had
deleted
waited
scenes for this.
10
Because...
years for this.
Yeah, 10 years
Yeah,
for a bad
let's see that.
sequel.
Yeah,
LMNOPQRST
it wouldn't be the
Terminator
last
3.
time.
Let's see. Is this the deleted scenes? No, it's not. No, that's a storyboard comparison. Storyboards look way better. This shot isn't in the storyboards. That's interesting. That's the director. What the hell is this? That's the gag reel. That's Todd McFarlane. Come on. That's a trailer for the game. This had better be the fucking deleted scenes. What the hell is this? Is this the trailer? Yeah, this is the trailer. Where the hell are my deleted scenes, guys? Because you said that they were on this disc. I could just pull them up on YouTube, I guess. But, let's see here. Claire Danes. I'm just going to run back through this again in case I missed it. Yeah, climax storyboards. Yeah, featurette. McFarlane talking about his fucking toys again. And this... Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna pull up the deleted scenes on YouTube now. Because I can't... For some reason, they weren't on the disc. They said that they were on the disc,
That's
but
weird.
they're not.
Why were they omitted?
It's entirely possible that they might have been talking about stuff that's on the... Terminator 3, deleted scenes. Okay, let me try to find, like, a higher quality, because that's a... Why is it Genesis? Come on, give me all of the deleted scenes. Okay, 16 years ago, that's 5 years ago. Oh, let's see. Okay. Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Yep. I got it right here, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Assuming it actually loads. Why does the
You would
Hunter Killer
actually see the Hunter Killer in Salvation.
Yeah, the Hunter Killer was also featured in T2 3D. My question is, why do the Hunter Killers in this look better than the Hunter Killers in T2 3D? You know, like they look like they have more weapons.
I have no idea.
Hey, you know what? That's something.
I mean, it explains a little bit of why.
Yeah. If they put all this stuff down in patents before they got destroyed, sure.
Yeah. And now we get the T-800.
Yeah.
Oh no, here it comes. Oh God. Why are you doing a Southern Forrest Gump accent?
That is some of the worst dubbing I've seen.
Was that? I don't know which is worse, him doing a bad Southern accent or that dubbing.
Dubbing it over the other guy, yeah. I think the other guy's dubbing is worse.
This is just the T2 footage.
Yeah, that's just T2 footage here. I was waiting to see if it was gonna... Oh no, that's from the T2. That's from the T2 effects trailer.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No,
yeah,
it's the T2 effects trailer. It's not from the movie.
Oh,
that's a good. It's a good trailer. It's just like yeah. No, I like the idea. I like the ideas presented here. My problem with all of this, it's all half-baked. It's all first concepts. Let's see if I can find, because that's the Sergeant Candy one. Let's see if what this one is. See if this is any different. Let me check my copy of T3, actually. Special features. Temp score. I think we just got trolled, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got trolled.
Yeah. God damn it.
Oh,
I can't find it on YouTube either.
I have, let me see, because Sergeant Candy scene... Dress to Kill, Toys in Action. The Sergeant Candy scene just isn't in here. Maybe it's on the DVD that's in here. I don't know. Whatever, we've spent enough time on this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe the DVD.
Yeah. Now, do you want to watch the... Not right now, obviously, but between now and whenever we do, Salvation, I have the, Machinima series right here. Would you want to watch that as well?
Sure. Okay. I'm always down for more Salvation content.
Hey, that's cool, because I have never seen the Machinima series. I just always knew that it existed, and I grabbed a copy of it from Amazon
I think I saw,
recently.
Yeah. I think I saw, one episode, but I never saw the full thing. So, yeah, that would be nice.
All right, hey. Well,
but sure.
I guess we'll throw that on before Terminator 4. Till next time, we'll see you guys later.
Mm-hmm.